Is This a Ghost is sponsored by Pickney Bend Distillery. Patrick, let's not joking this. Let's do a good one. Let's do it straight down the middle.
Really? Okay.
No All jokes. Right. Let's just do a real, like something if someone would do a real ad for Pickney Bend.
Okay. Do you want to play some music? Or
let's see what I got here. Hey everybody, if you're looking for something to jam out to on those lonely nights in your basement, we recommend Pickney Bend Navy Strength Gin. Pour It's All One and forget your loneliness. Forget that existential despair that creeps in from the inside out, right from the soul and going out to your extremities every single morning of every single day by drinking Pickney Bend Navy Strength Gin in your basement, Patrick. What do you think?
I'm here too. Yeah. No, it's it was good actually.
It felt targeted, right? I was using you as a market persona. Do you think it worked?
I mean, I did feel targeted. Yeah. I don't know if is that good. Okay. Yeah.
I think that's that's what we call marketing, friend.
That was PEO. That was Patrick Engine Optimized right there is what that was.
Check it off the list. If we do one of those for every person within our listening audience, we could have these done by, I don't know, February 8th.
Next week, Aaron Aronson, you are going to get singled out on this fucker. And
if you don't want to wait for your turn, you can just jump right in and go ahead and get your Pickney Bend on without us having to tell you to do so. That would save us a lot of work. You can go to PINCKNEYBEND.com, find some really great gin, find some great whiskeys, some of the best stuff on earth. Go give them a look and go follow them on social media and tell them Sad Existential Patrick sent you. They'll know who that is. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Is This a Ghost? I'm Clayton Smith, and every week I tell a real ghost story from real history to my real friend, Patrick Dean, who doesn't take it real seriously. What are you drinking tonight?
Oh, I'm drinking a Navy Strength gin and tonic.
Oh, that looks good.
It's a tall one, and it was tall before I even started putting the tonic in.
Excellent. Good.
Woo!
I'm drinking.
It tastes like fire. What are you drinking?
Lemon ginger tea.
Oh, are you sick?
Great uncut lemon ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Mondays.
Two reasons why I'm so tired from all this influx of work I've had to do in my real job that if I have one drink of alcohol, I will fall asleep. And two, we're flying tomorrow morning, and I wanted to be sharp. I'm gonna be sharp for the fucking full contact sport that is bringing a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old to California via plane
over the busiest travel week of the year. Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Cool.
So lemon ginger for me, please.
Oh, I am sorry.
Thank you.
I'm stuck in this this hellhole time zone for the entire break. So.
It's true. I mean, the benefit of suffering through the travel day to California is that when you're done, you're in California.
True.
I do like that.
True.
Gonna be in Costa Mesa.
Oof. Is that night? Is that
near
nice?
the Costa?
Okay. And then there's a mesa.
There's not
there
really
too?
a mesa.
Well,
but 1 out of 2 ain't bad. So that'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's the sound of lemon ginger, friend.
What time do you guys fly? Like super early?
No, 10 o'clock.
So you probably still get up at about 4:30.
5 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, I figure, yeah.
Yep, that's right. Who am I hearing? Is that my child that I'm hearing, or is it one of your children?
That's mine. That's mine.
Okay.
That's my child screaming, towel! Towel!
Okay.
She is nude and slippery running around the house right now.
Mine are in a big nude and slippery phase. Does that phase ever die out?
Well, June's 4.5, so take whatever you want from that information.
Boy, we have so many first aid incidents after bath time these days. It's a real mess.
They hit that nice ornamental tile flooring in the entryway, and I mean they go down like a sack of bricks.
And the way they bounce, it is impressive.
It is
very bouncy. Children are. CPS has some questions, but they get it.
Who doesn't?
I think they get it.
They got bigger fish to fry.
What's happening in your house?
The whole fucking house is haunted. Just slamming doors as hard as they can. When I left from upstairs, everybody was in such a great mood. They're coming down here now.
Oh,
this is great.
This is great.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, everyone's in such a great mood.
Yeah.
Such a great mood. Big kisses and hugs, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Okay, great. Yeah, I love you, Dad. Yada yada yada. As soon as I come downstairs, everyone starts slamming closet doors. They are trying to kill cockroaches with them. I don't really understand what they're doing up there exactly.
Yeah, it's called playing.
No.
If you're gonna neglect them, they gotta find some way to entertain themselves.
I'm gonna talk to Dad in Morse code via door slams.
Dad, dun dun dun. Dad, dun dun dun.
Mom, what's A in Morse code again?
I want to tell Dad a really long story. How was your Thanksgiving?
Probably fine. All these like winter holidays are really strange if you are the only person in your household whose life does not center around a school. Because everybody else is like, oh man, only one more day left and I'm just watching movies. And I'm like, boy, could my life not be any different than that?
My favorite part of the year is the Christmas time holidays, the winter holidays. Because at my work, it's like December 15th. I'm like, oh boy, it's been a real tough 3 months. But now I'm off work until January 27th. So, woo! And I've earned it. I've earned it. I'll say that for myself. Worked. I worked Fridays all this semester, and I earned it.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Well, do you want to hear a ghost story? I have to wake up real early tomorrow. Do you want to hear a ghost story?
Let's make this snappy.
Great. Northamptonshire, England.
Northampton. That's
one word.
It's a bunch of bullshit. That's like they can make fun of the Germans all they want, but I mean, look at how all of England names all their towns. It's
I think you made a Germany joke last time about England.
A Germany joke about England?
I think you did.
That's awful specific.
Yeah, I know. That's why
it was 6 days ago, though. So who can remember? Who can remember?
Anyway, Northamptonshire, which I assume they pronounce Northamptonshire, probably. Northamptonshire. Anyway, it has a history of being an absolute hotbed of witch activity. And on July 22nd, 1612, for example, there was a series of pretty high-profile witch trials in Northamptonshire, where 5 people were executed, quote, for witchcraft of various kinds, from murder to bewitching pigs.
Please tell me that each person got convicted of precisely one crime, and that one person got executed merely for bewitching a pig.
Well, let me answer that question by showing you the pamphlet to the trial. Would you like to see the pamphlet to the witch trial?
These are the good old days here. These are really the good old days.
Please describe what you're seeing to our listening audience.
The witches of Northampton-Shire. That was in the days before they just started mushing all the letters together like a fucking seek and find. Agnes Brown, Iona Vaughn. Okay, so they're listing the plaintiffs here.
It's like a play. They're putting all
it really is, yeah.
The character they're playing is witches.
I do like at the very bottom they do give the credits for who printed the pamphlet as well, because that's clearly very, very important. This was donated. Someone is writing this off on their taxes, and I need the record to be able to do this.
This is a 17th century playbill.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We're really sorry for the understudies in this one, because it doesn't work out so well for them either.
Now, there's a woodcutting print in the center of this. Will you please describe what you see in that picture?
It appears to be three witches, although they're not wearing the hats, but they're clearly drawn to be witches.
Yeah.
Riding a fairly large sow.
Now, is the sow big or are they tiny?
I think that's a big sow. I really think that's a big sow.
Okay.
A big unhappy sow, clearly because it's been bewitched.
Yes.
So I don't think it's been bewitched in like the fun way, like the show Bewitched.
Sure.
I don't think it's that kind of bewitched.
It's not an astronaut
No,
sure.
it's definitely like a bewitched in the sense that it makes you run off of a cliff and jump into the sea. That kind of a bewitched. Maybe that's where they're going right now. I don't know.
They definitely have. You're right. They made this a sad sow, which I think is kind of. I think this is leading the witnesses. So like you look at this and you'd be like, oh my god, they did bewitch that pig. Look how sad that pig is. Look how big and sad it is.
Also, they murdered. But look how sad the pig is.
You know as well as anybody, no one cares about people murder. They only care about animal murder. Or in this case, I guess animal bewitching. What do you do if you bewitch a pig?
I mean,
are you Googling it?
No, my monitors get very screwed up whenever you share media with me. Let me see if I can fix that.
Anyway, so these people bewitched pigs, but also murdered people. And they were found guilty and they were hung by the neck until dead, I assume.
Makes sense.
About 100 years later or so, March 17th, 1706, someone named Eleanor Shaw and Mary Phillips were accused of having, quote, familiarity with the devil.
Oof.
And also accused of bewitching a woman and 2 children, and also for bewitching cattle to death.
You see? I knew it. I knew it.
So there's definitely, they're drawing a distinction between bewitching animals and bewitching animals to death. So
my pig didn't used to feel this way about people, and all of a sudden she's getting real friendly. I'm thinking she's been bewitched.
They're bewitching the pigs for pleasure. They're bewitching the cattle for revenge. So they were hanged, and then but they were hanged in such a fashion that they were hanged, and then before they were dead, they got cut down, and the people cut them down while they were almost dead, and then tied them to stakes and burned them alive.
Which is kind of how David Carradine died.
I don't think that's right. Let's see. So this is all happening in Northamptonshire. And then in 1692, a man named Giles Corey was, did that name ring a bell for you by any chance?
Giles Corey? Not as much. Again, famous jazz musician or playwright. I don't really know
you're somehow getting slowly warmer.
Okay.
You ever seen or read The Crucible?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
Giles Corey is one of the witches. I think he was the only boy witch killed at Salem. Yeah, Morwaite. Yeah, he's the Morwaite.
Okay.
Morwaite. Yeah. Killed by pressing, famously so, killed by pressing at the Salem witch trials. He was from Northamptonshire. Now, obviously, that happened in Salem, Massachusetts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
but he still probably like appears on like at his high school. He's on like the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there's a banner. I think over the basketball net. Giles Corey. It's in the workout room. Giles Corey, more weight. It's real inspiration to those kids.
He holds 2 records: one for scoring the most points in basketball, 2. The other, the most weight ever lifted, right up until.
So anyway, so it's Witch Central is what I'm saying. This is only one of many examples. And it is there in Northamptonshire, in Northamptonshire, in the village of Watford.
Well, even the village is in the. Geez, it just goes all the way down, doesn't it?
Watford's all the way down. Village of Watford. The Angeline Tubbs was born in 1761. She was born at the Star and Garter Inn, where her parents were managers. oh my. Star and Garter.
Interesting. I mean, it sounds like really reputable. I'm sure it's
so hard to tell.
Yeah.
Like, if I saw a Star and Garter Inn now, obviously that's where I'm going to have some fun.
Yeah, that's a place where I turn my phone off, Find My iPhone off, throw it down the sewer.
That's the place that you and I stayed in that one time in Chula Vista. That's the Star and Garter.
The Star and Garter. Ooh, boy, I didn't see a lot of stars.
Saw some mismatched garters. The place where the sign said that guests had to be gone by 9:00 or whatever. Yeah, but in 1761, maybe it might have been a nice place. I don't know.
Probably one of the nicer ones at that point. I can't imagine what the not nice ones were called back then. like the bewitched pig or something, but I don't.
Motherfuckers are just catching on fire every 3 days. So she grew up as some people do. Yep. And she had, quote, piercing black eyes.
Ugh.
Now it was presented as if that's a really good thing.
Okay.
And I was listening to some other podcast this week. I don't know what it was, but they were talking about someone who apparently had black eyes. And they're like, yeah, it was kind of a cool thing. Like it's, some people have black eyes and it's like, people love it. I can't imagine that's true.
I think it sounds like a mineral imbalance or something like that. I don't.
It sounds like a demonic imbalance. But apparently she had like long flowing hair and these black eyes, and people are like, "You're real attractive for, I guess, a 15-year-old." That it's weird because she's pretty young still. But
just like a Snow White thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty much. So she's growing up there, and it doesn't take her long to be like, this place sucks. And, everyone's like, wait, what, Northamptonshire? And she's like, no, England sucks.
The whole fucking lot. The whole thing.
I hate it here. So when she's 15, she meets a handsome British officer. Couldn't find his name, but he was an officer in the 31st Regiment of Foot.
Okay. Doesn't sound very important.
No, I don't think so. He was slated to go to the colonies to fight in the Revolutionary War.
Oh, I think I remember how this goes for him.
Story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, at this point, they don't know that yet.
They don't realize they're the baddies yet.
Well,
yeah.
Everyone's the hero of their own story, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So he's going to go over and she's like,
we're going to go shoot men over tea, right? Right.
Just making sure.
Okay, just right. That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, so it's Tuesday, just somewhere else. Great. So she's like, this is great. Take me with you. Get me out of this hellhole. She would rather jump into a literal war zone than keep living in England. And I think we have a lot of listeners who should spend some time thinking about that. Anyway, so Angeline Tubbs and her boyfriend, who I assume had very bad teeth, they head to America, and he jumps right into the fray. He's ready to go. I don't know if he's stationed in upstate New York or if that's just where he ends up fighting a lot of his battles, but she's following him around as he's going and fighting, which doesn't sound very safe.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know where else they're going to go.
I mean, that's kind of like it's like bringing your girlfriend on tour with you. I mean, that's, I mean, I'm sure all the other soldiers are like, dude, he brought his girlfriend with him.
Oh, that poor blimey fuck.
That poor fucker. He doesn't realize.
Oh, well, he might catch on soon. So they're fighting in Saratoga. He ends up in the battle. There's apparently several battles of Saratoga. Mm-hmm. And this is when the Americans and the French are fighting the British, and as they did in the war. But this is a series of battles where the British got their asses handed to them, and it was kind of one of the pivotal battles, I suppose. And so he loses. He doesn't die, but he loses in that war, and he's like, "This sucks." And he gets real mad, and he decides that Angeline is bad luck.
Oh, okay, all right,
yeah.
And then we're gonna start with the pressing.
Okay, that's right. So he decides. So yeah, so he decides his whole idea here is the British Army is losing to Americans because of his fiance was bad luck. I guess, which does potentially hint to the fact that yes, perhaps he had an early inkling that she was gifted with the witchcraft. So he does what any sane person would do, and he abandons Angeline in Saratoga.
I mean, honestly, she's kind of on the good side at this point. So
yes, yeah, she's definitely not worse off for this, but she is all alone on her own in a strange country where she knows nobody, she has no job, she has no money.
She has a British accent, which probably doesn't win her a whole lot of friends at this time.
I don't think it's a safe time to have one of those. So she goes around talking like this to try to mask it.
It's actually Australian. Yes, Australian.
I'm from Idaho. Oh, you haven't heard of that one yet. We all
haven't
sound
gotten
like
that far.
Idaho.
This is how we all sound in Idaho, where we also hate the British.
Yes. Oh,
which we are not.
No British, thank you. We are not that. We hate tea. in Idaho. So she's there. Oh yeah, so she's got nothing and no money, but it is better than England still. And so she's gonna get busy living or get busy dying. So she gets busy living, and she wanders off through the wilderness in search of literally anything. There is nothing around. And she's like, what do I do?
There's a town, but I think I'm going to Lewis and Clark this one. I think I'm just going to walk until I find a bear or something.
I don't know where the nearest town is and why she doesn't seem to go toward it. But she walks, maybe she does. She walks through the wilderness for 15 miles. I guess they could be 15 miles out from town.
Yeah.
That's not
back
crazy.
then, yeah, everything's probably 15 miles apart back then.
Yeah, definitely. So she wanders through the wilderness, and then she eventually finds a little village of Saratoga Springs, which I think sounds very nice. You ever been to Saratoga Springs?
I have not. This sounds very very like Hallmark Channel though.
I think
does she go there and then like befriend a widowed bartender?
There's like a really grumpy widowed bartender. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But you can tell under all that flannel that there's a heart of gold. Maybe she's just going to buy this little bed and breakfast here and fix it up.
Because it turns out he loves anise cookies, and that is the one recipe that she had passed down from her grandmother. What a meet cute. No, it goes differently than that.
Oh,
so she finds Saratoga Springs, and she's like, I guess this is a good place as any to be alive.
Yeah.
But the people in town are giving her weird looks because
the voice.
She's British.
And the eyes. Yeah.
and the raging black eyes of fury. So she's like, well, maybe I'll just go. Maybe I'll go to the suburbs a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
So she goes about a mile north of the village, and she settles at the base of a big hill called Mount Vista. This hill is described as, quote, a bald promontory of rock, the gray masses of which impend frowningly over a deep glen beneath. So it's a pretty cheery space.
Something where you'd want to, reinvent yourself right there.
Yeah, why not?
In the shadow of depression. Yeah. I mean, she's British, so she's already halfway there, but
makes a lot of sense.
This place feels very sad and homey.
When the sun is out, this place really blocks it, and I don't see any of it. And gosh, I love that. So it's here that that Angeline, quote, built a hovel.
Just giving her not giving her the benefit of the doubt at all any of these things.
She needs a better biographer for sure.
Yeah, obviously.
So she's now a hobbit, which makes sense why she's from Northampton Shire. She's also got a lot of cats now.
Clearly. Yeah.
I don't know where they come from, but she collects a lot of cats. She had over 20 cats.
Oh, that's over 20 too many.
It's so many cats. And she and her cats basically just fended for themselves in the wilderness. She learned how to trap and
yeah. I mean, these are probably outdoor cats, right?
These are outdoor cats, yeah. Now she did declaw them, but only the front claws. So the back ones are still there.
Yeah, I think that's very fair.
Yeah,
sure.
Makes sense. These are outdoor cats for sure. They probably did most of the trapping for her, to be honest. I guess that's true. If you've got an army of 100 cats, even if they get like one mouse each, that's a meal.
That's a lot of mouse right there. I mean, you're going to be eating voles and
for sure,
mice and more songbirds than you can really shake a stick at. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick bird meat. Oh.
Once you take the feather off this finch, there's almost a bite.
It's gangrenous, but it's the wilderness. So she traps for food. Yes, and she would eat some berries. She would eat bark.
She's going quite mad,
but like the right bark.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like peppermint bark.
I forgot to mention this mountain is shut up. The mountain is chock-a-block with lead. She has gone absolutely insane.
Hence the black eyes. Now it's starting to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I don't know what the bark deal is. I guess there's edible bark. I don't know. You probably maybe make like a tea with it.
I guess. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Well, we don't have time for this.
I'm going to blame the cats for this one. I don't think I'm supposed to be eating bark.
Yeah. So she is a full-on wilderness person.
And clearly, yeah. Yeah.
And so the people of Saratoga Springs are like, who is this lady? And they're all kind of unnerved by her, of course, because she's a total weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's living in the wilderness. She's eating trees. She has 20 cats in a hovel in a mountain, a mile out of town. And then sometimes on stormy nights, they would see her standing on top of the cliffs of Mount Vista casting spells. And he didn't like that either.
I mean, you got to practice sometime. I mean,
yeah, if you had a witch neighbor, do you think that would be a selling point or a con? Do you think that would increase or decrease your home value?
I think if you have a good relationship with them, maybe it's kind of like an all over, like a protection thing, you know, and not as much of a like, you know, you're going to develop cancerous warts type spell.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I guess it depends on the witch. You're right.
Yeah. Depends on which, depends on the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Depends how much gingerbread is in the house. Definitely. So they knew she was casting spells because when she would stand up there, her hands were outstretched and there was a lot of red lightning.
Not just a little bit of red lightning. That can happen, honestly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, like if you rub your feet on the carpet for a long time.
Yeah, if it's
lightning
red carpet,
comes out everywhere.
Yeah. Blue
Yeah.
carpet, blue lightning. Green carpet, green lightning. Red carpet, red lightning.
Makes sense. You can turn into fucking Emperor Palpatine if you rub your feet long enough on those things. But you're saying it happened more than normal.
Yes, more than normal. More, lots of red lightning. Here's a quote from a book that existed not long after this time. Quote, "Had she been mistress of the whirlwind, she could not have been more delighted with storms. She had been seen, her form erect and with extended arms, standing upon the verge of fearful precipices, in the midst of the most awful tempests, conversing, as it were, with unseen spirits, her long matted hair streaming in the wind, while the thunder was riving the rocks beneath her feet, and the red lightning encircling her as with a winding sheet of flame."
I gotta tell you, I think I'm developing a type.
I need to be excused for a moment.
I will be in my bunk, rubbing my feet on the carpet. Yeah, this all actually sounds really cool.
It does sound very cool.
I'm thinking I'm building a hovel just down the block from this lady.
You know what I'm saying? I'm building a hovel in my pants. Yeah, and I like the red lightning is encircling her. So it's like she's calling it down and it's like spinning around her. It sounds very cool. But people there did not like it for reasons I'll never understand. And they're like, "You guys, I think she's a witch." Everyone else is like, "Yeah, yeah, no shit. Well, I think that's right."
Yeah, but she's also really scary. So what are we gonna do about it?
So you go get her. So they're like, "I don't want to get her." So they go like, "Well, let's go to the constabulary, and they'll go get her." So they go, and they're like, "That lady's a witch. You got to arrest her." And so that's what they do. They go out and they arrest Angeline on charges of witchcraft. And the sentence for that, of course, is death. So they tell her that she's a witch, and she's like, "Yeah." And they tell her that she's sentenced to death, and she starts to laugh at them. And now the people are really creeped out because that's not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
If you tell a witch,
you had the upper hand there, you know.
Yeah, like, "We're gonna kill you, witch," and she starts laughing, you have fucked up real big.
Everyone takes like 2 steps backwards, like, where's the constabulary again?
So she tells them while laughing they can hang her if they want, but she's not going to die until the last of her cats is dead. And again, she's got a lot of cats. And they're feral cats, so no one's gonna go out there and and take care of them right there, of course. So it's a weird thing to say, though. Am I right?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess she's really loyal to them, but also, like, who can tell which ones are her cats?
Well, and I think she keeps. This is gonna come up later, but I think that she keeps refreshing her cats.
Clearly, yeah. I mean, there's coyotes and stuff out there, so
yeah. So these cats are having more cats, and so when she says, "I'm going to live until my cats are all dead," she means like till the lineage of my
the
cats
bloodline
is wiped out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're like, "You are so crazy."
Yeah.
And they take her out and they put a noose around her neck and they hang her.
Mm-hmm.
So she's hanging there, but she doesn't die. They kick the stool or whatever, and she falls down. Her neck does not break, and she's hanging by the noose, not dying. And they just let her hang there for a while. They're like, this has got to work eventually, right? Like, this is getting very uncomfortable.
We have almost a perfect record of this working on.
And she's just hanging out and just, swinging around, just whistling, I assume, and just waiting.
And then do like slowly more and more cats start appearing until people are like, you know what?
Like, oh,
I have
God.
The stove is on at home.
I have to jump into the ocean.
Yeah.
I'm never coming back.
Yeah. This is not my pamphlet, by the way. I don't know where this came from.
Why is it a woman writing 3 cats?
Yeah.
So finally the people are so uncomfortable. They're like, okay, we'll cut you down. God, Jesus, just go away. So they cut her down, and Angeline's like, told you so. And she goes back to her hovel to, I guess, live until her cats are all dead. She just goes back to her life, and then she just gets older. And her eventually, I mean, this goes on for decades. She's living out there forever. No one is fucking with her anymore because
clearly
they are very terrified of her.
Obviously, yeah.
For quite good reason. But the older she gets, the wilderness life takes a toll. You can't do that. You can't do that for that long.
Sure, I mean, you can live off bark for so long.
Yeah. Not a lot of nutrients in bark, I think, is the problem with it. It gets harder and harder for her to fend for herself. So she eventually has to find another way to make money.
Uh-oh.
And so...
I really don't like where this is going, by the way. This is... The Hallmark channel is ready to cancel this project. Yeah.
They were really desperate. As soon as the writer's strike was up, they're like, we'll take anything. Now they're having second thoughts.
Yeah.
Now they wish they'd read the whole thing. They read Act 3.
They're like, let's feed what we have into Chat GPT and just see what happens. Because I don't
she
like
emerged from the cave with 13 fingers.
Yeah.
What's happening? So she's got to make some money. So she decides she's going to wander. She wanders into Saratoga Springs, and the people there, again, they don't like that very much.
Sure.
And she's like, okay, y'all know I'm a witch. We got it, right? She's, I'll read your fortune for like $1 or whatever. We'll start reading fortunes for money.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, depending. I mean, you could like,
yes.
If she's like, hey, I'll read your fortune. You die in 17 days and it's grisly and your kids see all of it.
We don't talk about Angeline. So she starts reading fortunes because she definitely is a witch. So it does turn out that Angeline was taught the ways of old magic in England. And in fact, actually, just a few years ago, I think this was in 2019, the Star and Garter Inn is still there.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Of course. It was going through some rehab, and they demolished a chimney, and they found, while they were doing that, they found inside a 19th century witch bottle.
It's a witch bottle.
Gosh, I'm so glad you asked that. Let me show you what a witch bottle is.
I wish I could see what a witch bottle was. That would make my life so much more complete.
That is a witch bottle.
Okay. That really looks like the kind of thing you... No, never mind.
This is a family show.
I mean, it looks like that. I don't know how else to put it. It looks like a thing that you put a place and you make sure it has a handle on it in case you want to take it back out of that place.
Yes.
Just saying.
That's right. You've described a bottle.
Yeah, it does have the word Coventry written across it, which I don't remember any of the ones that I've seen have the word Coventry written across them. And it appears to probably be brass, I guess.
I don't know what it is. It could be brass.
Some sort
brass
of
is a nice hardy metal for that.
Yeah, it's stamped. I'm gonna say that's brass, and then it's sealed with wax at one end.
A really messy seal job.
Yeah. For as nice as the stamping and the brass work is, and someone clearly like scrubbed everything off of it really nicely. They left a pretty shitty wax job on the end. I'll give you that.
Excuse me.
You need a button for that.
I sure do. Yeah, the bottle maker was not a wax maker. This is definitely what's going on here.
I fired my wax guy. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, this bottle is a witch bottle. This particular, do you want to take any, would you like to guess what is inside of this witch bottle?
Humors. I'm going to say humors.
Okay. No.
No.
This one contained a few things: fish hooks, human teeth, glass, shards of glass, and a liquid.
A liquid.
A liquid.
Okay. And this sounds like the kind of thing my kid would bring home from preschool.
Correct.
Don't tell my teacher, but my coat pockets are full of glass and fish hooks.
So this was a charm meant to ward off evil and evil spells. So anyway, that was found in her house where she grew up. So there was, I think it was, they figure it did not, it was there after she left. But the idea is, in this place, there's a lot of witchcraft going on. So they think that there were the family of servants who were there, like the nanny, the nurses, or whatever. It was a family lineage, and they were the ones who were teaching all these young children who were growing up here about black magic. So she really was a witch, you know, and she starts doing witching. She starts witching for work, witching for balloons or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a gig witch.
She's a gig witch.
Yeah.
Yes. Making bottles with fish teeth or whatever. And so now that everyone knows, like, they're like, okay, so we weren't wrong. This is good to know that you're actually a witch.
Yeah.
So they feel very smug and self-satisfied, but they can't charge her as a witch again because they've all seen the movie Double Jeopardy.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. You've been convicted. You served your time.
I mean, I guess if you convict someone of being a witch once and try to kill her and she doesn't take, you don't do that again. Yeah,
that's pretty clear. Like, that's, you know, you try and maybe just let that one go.
I think so.
You know,
I think so. Yeah, that's an L. Chalk up that L and move on. So everyone knows that she's not going to die until her cats are gone. And they're like, well, I guess we might as well get something out of it. So people start to accept her finally. They're like, well, now you can do magic for me, and I'll give you some money, and great, we're cool, right?
I like this redemption arc. I like this. I like where
really
this is going.
Yeah, it's back to Hallmark.
Yeah,
back on the platform.
I'm liking Act 3. I really am.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think I am.
This is the feel-good story that iTag needed. And so that's how she makes her ends meet for a long time, for many years, practicing magic around Saratoga Springs. Now, when she's in her 90s, a photographer is traveling.
90s.
She's got a lot of cats.
I mean, geez, she was born in 1760 or so. Is that what you said? 1761.
Yeah.
So 90. So she.
You know how many cats have? She's gonna live for 1,000 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She's 90. So when she's 90, in her 90s, a photographer comes through. And he's, I guess, kind of a famous photographer, and he takes her picture and he publishes it in some, I guess, like a newspaper or pigeon newsletter or something.
Yeah.
He posts it somewhere that people see it.
Lithograph Monthly. Yeah.
And he titles the photo "The Witch of Saratoga," and so she starts getting national fame as the Witch of Saratoga.
And that's good press right there. Honestly,
it's very good press.
If you're a gig witch, that is
totally
all you want right there.
She sets up her Venmo and she is ready to go. Would you like to see this photo?
Sure. Yeah.
This is Angeline.
I mean, it gets the point across, but it is a scary photo of an old lady right
Sure
there. That is, boy.
Yep. So this is the Witch of Saratoga. And as advertised, I think.
You could have very easily told me this was a very, very scary cursed doll, and I would not have batted an eye.
This is one of those weird, like, wrinkled apple dolls, you know, like the dried apple dolls. Yes.
Like, you took a real doll and just, like, mushed its face all together and sewed it up real quick.
And gave it really giant ham hock hands.
Yeah. She does have some Mickey Rourke hands for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. This is very scary, but again, as a gig witch,
but on brand.
Yeah,
on brand.
Dotting the I's, crossing the T's. I am very impressed here. If I had any sort of witch business, And
Well, you would
and
seek
I
her out
got
immediately.
absolutely. Hmm.
Now, eventually, she gets too old to magic, I
Oh,
guess.
what? That's too bad.
It is too bad. And she can't provide for herself anymore. It's the only way she's making money. So,
And her
sadly,
401k is performing really poorly, and so
yeah,
she's
the
like,
economy's
"What am
not
I gonna do?"
great.
Yeah,
Just like,
like the Civil War is coming up, and you know what that
uh,
does for investments. It's just
there's a run on tobacco. It's all going downhill. So she can't take care of herself anymore. So sadly, she has to leave her hovel and she leaves her cats and she has to move into the local poorhouse. And because there was no one home to continually get new cats, help protect the cats, the cats start dying off without procreating. Finally,
I mean, they're probably really sad.
I think so.
Yeah,
I assume so.
Like, who wants to fuck if they're that sad?
Well, there's a whole Pornhub channel about that. So, so while she's in the poorhouse, her last cat passes away, and shortly thereafter, in 1865, at the age of 104 years old, having outlived all of her cats,
even Shrek. Poor Shrek, he was my most beautiful boy.
Angeline Tubbs dies. Today, you can see the ghost of Angeline, the Witch of Saratoga, wandering through the forest, the wilderness outside of Saratoga Springs. And of course, on some stormy nights, she still appears on top of Mount Vista, quote, silhouetted by lightning and screaming with her arms outstretched in the wind.
Wow.
And that's the story of the Witch of Saratoga. Yeah, it's a little bit of a thought. It's a thought piase.
It is a thought piece. Yeah, I feel provoked. Yeah.
Think about her life, and you'll I think it gives you a lot to kind of dwell on in terms of an existential way.
Yeah.
And when you want to dwell existentially, Pickney Bend Distillery has the Navy strength gin that you're going to need.
If you want to dwell, and then maybe dwell so hard you can't get up off the couch.
Navy strength you want to dwell so hard you see your own red lightning. Pickney Bend has got something for you. So that's our story this week, which I think is it's kind of a sad, sweet story. We don't really do a lot of sad, sweet stories.
Yeah, that was sad and sweet.
Yeah,
it had cats.
Yeah,
it had hot witches. I mean,
okay.
I mean,
sure.
Originally,
okay. There was a comment, I didn't write it down. There was one of the sources talked about how after she was hung unsuccessfully, she of course had a big mark on her neck for the rest of her life, and apparently at that point she started going kind of physically speaking, aesthetically downhill. So could be that kind of broke something in her magic that was keeping her young looking all these years. Okay. But that feels like some patriarchy bullshit, so I didn't include it. But thank you for bringing it back up, because I know that you're a staunch defender of the patriarchy. Any questions? Any thoughts? Any final pieces of wisdom to impart with our listeners?
No, I think I'm in pretty good shape here. Yeah, I do feel very sorry for her and for the cats.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah. I wonder if Jeremy can go back in and make some like sad music kind of under everything at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy, do that, will you?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, can you like kind of just like fade the whole thing out over?
Yeah.
Like suicide is painless or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but something we have rights to. Don't.
Yeah. Can you find like the 8-bit version of Suicide is Painless and just like play that as an outro?
Yeah, that'd be great. Something tasteful like that. Something tasteful like the 8-bit version of Suicide is Painless would be really nice. Thank you, Jeremy. Gosh, I guess that's it for this episode of Is This a Ghost? All the notes research is done by me, Clayton Smith. All the funny jokes are made by Patrick Dean. Our audio engineer is Jeremy Montoya. He did the music you're hearing right now. It's really, really great. Our video editor is Jen Swanson. As usual, all the sources are listed on our show notes. There are a few of them this week. And I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving last week. It's getting cold out. And that's what we say here. It is a ghost. Getting cold temperature, cold ghosts.
Yep. Bring all your cats inside. It's getting real cold out there. You wouldn't want to die prematurely.